Before we start this video, I want to pay respects to a wounded soldier in battle. My lens, the front element came off and I'm holding it on with a polarizer filter. Anyway, today's going to be not necessarily a rant video, but like a public announcement video to essentially tech sponsors and how they've really annoyed me over the past little bit. And I know they annoy a lot of people, creators big and as small as my channel as well. And essentially we're going to see what they do because I know a lot of you don't actually know, but some of you care. The first thing is, if you're an Amazon seller and you're trying to get Amazon sales, don't contact YouTubers for Amazon reviews because honestly, it's just a complete waste of my time. People who have these Amazon and eBay shops, they'll get you to buy a product from their shop and then they'll say, oh, I'll pay you back after once you've left a review. Shut up. Seriously, it's not cool. The fact that you're coming to a YouTuber for an Amazon review is kind of ridiculous to start with. What were you expecting? And then when you don't reply, you just get a load of hate emails. Leading on from that, I've got a lot of emails from companies in the past who want paid reviews. They are the owner of a shop or a merchant and they want to give products, for example, and they're usually really terrible products as well. They're usually like really cheap smartwatches or LED strips or something, and they want you to essentially pay them for the product and then they'll pay you for the review. I'm not going to do a paid review, mate. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do a sponsored review. I don't think anyone with even an ounce of integrity would do a paid review. And then one that I got, I thought it was incredible. One of my friends, I'm not going to name any companies or names in this video, but one of my friends gave me a contact to a smartphone manufacturer who is pretty low end. I'm pretty sure a lot of you will know who they are, but they're not very prevalent. And essentially they wanted to send out a phone for review. And I was like, okay, that's great. I'll just have another phone to review. But they wanted a positive review. And my reply to this was, I'm just going to, if it's good, I'll do a good review. If it's bad, I'll do a bad review. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to put my thoughts out on the paper and just lay out my expectations, lay out what happened, and then evaluate whether the customer should buy it or not. The response I got from that was, I'm so sorry that we can't be working with you. And I was like, were you expecting a false review? Companies who go out of their way to present a product, for example, and they're always like $5, $10 products. Let's say, for example, you know me, I'm a tech channel, but I mainly do mobile phones. Anything that isn't a mobile phone tends to do pretty badly on the channel, with some very, very small exceptions. Companies and advertisers will spend money to have their product on my channel to showcase. They won't get any kind of return from it because it's targeted at the complete wrong audience and they're not going to get any kind of response or investment. They're just kind of throwing money and a product at someone. People are paid to be advertisers, to be marketers, to try and sell a product, to try and market the product and advertise the product to an audience. And with YouTube being such a prevalent platform at the moment, it makes sense to try and advertise on YouTube. But if you're paid to do this, how? So for example, I get a lot of these things about dash cams, and I don't know, maybe some of you YouTube creators out there will know this, but dash cams for some reason are just such a big thing for a small creator. They'll give you like a list of dash cams you can use and then they'll say, oh yeah, we really want a review, it would be awesome, we'll even pay you and all this stuff. You're not going to get anything out of this. Like, we're not going to send traffic to your website, even if we told our audience to, because it's marketed at the wrong people. Like, I do smartphone reviews. These other people, they might do commentary channels and stuff like that. Why would they want to see something about a dash cam? If you're paid to be an advertiser, I think you should probably Google which fields have the best return in advertising and then go from there. Don't just assume that because, for example, I don't know, Samsung's Galaxy S9 is marketed on YouTube, that we should all market every product on YouTube, because that's not how it works. There are really good channels out there that do dash cam videos, like funny ones, crashes, and I'm not putting those in the same category, but you know what I mean? There's some real dash cam channels out there. Why don't you market to those people? I know loads of people looking for dash cams, but my audience is primarily 12 to 20 year olds who don't drive and have absolutely no interest in making dash cam videos. And it's not even just about like sending the product out for review, but a lot of these companies are willing to put down $200, $300, $400. Some of the bigger channels get thousands and thousands for basically advertising a product that doesn't make any sense. And that's fine, I guess, for the creator. All they've got to do is make a 30-second ad or a 10-second ad. But the fact that these companies are willing to spend so much money, like, surely these people, they should be fired. How do you get hired as an advertiser if you're absolutely terrible at marketing? The next thing is something that we get a lot, and it's quite common for some reason, and it's where someone will address themselves in an email as a certain name and then have a completely different email address. That's the first one. So for example, there might be someone called Tom and their email address is sam@gmail.com, for example. That's a bit of a red flag. But even though that is like a terrible excuse, probably the biggest one for me is when a company, a serious company, goes to market themselves to, let's say, a YouTuber or a Twitter or an Instagram, or I don't know, and they put themselves as whatever company name at Gmail or at Hotmail. If you're serious about your company, you will have a company email address. It's really not that expensive to set up, especially for a company which seemingly has a lot more money than a consumer. A consumer is probably $10, maybe $15 a month. Something that's as big of an investment as your image, how you are perceived by the brand. You should really have a company email address. And if you do have a company email address and you're just using Gmail, what are you doing? Now, I know a lot of people might not care about this stuff, but as a content creator, it is actually infuriating to have someone think they're serious about their company when they don't even try to represent themselves in the best way. The final thing, you're not actually going to believe me. Someone came to me about advertising some LED strips without the kind of the power supply or whatever, just the LED strips. They sent an email, they said something along the lines of, can you review our LED strips? In return, we'll give you some free LED strips. That was nothing. That was basically it. I checked the product link and it was literally just the strip without the power supply, just some adhesive and some LEDs. So I didn't reply to that because as small as my channel is, I do get a few emails about that kind of thing and it's best to ignore them. It's not best to confront them about that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, I'll leave that. A week later, I got another email from the same person. And at that point, I kind of like, this guy's pretty serious, but again, I don't want to confront them about it. Let's carry on. Anyway, 2 weeks goes by and I haven't heard anything from them. And then one evening I get an email from this company and they just start stropping that I haven't replied to their emails. Now, they must know as marketers that when you contact someone like a YouTuber or an influencer, even if they are a smaller channel as mine, we might have better things to do than to reply to these kinds of emails. I'm a full-time student. I've got YouTube, I've got Failtech, I've got a lot going on. Maybe I just don't have the time to sit down and reply to these emails. And the biggest thing is that they said that I am unprofessional and that I should not be running a YouTube channel. I honestly couldn't believe it, and I showed Kelsey, he's been on the channel a few times, and he couldn't believe it either. These people were stropping, were getting into a hissy fit, a mood, because I wouldn't reply to their email about honestly something that probably would have cost them like 50p to do. When you're that petty about your brand, when you're like that about your own company, it doesn't exactly bode well for whether I'm going to give you a review or not. The reason that Samsung and Apple and these big companies make so much money is because they can hold themselves decently well as a brand. They're not going around saying, oh, yeah, this, that, and whatever, and blaming everyone else for their problems, although maybe there are a few instances where they have done that. The basic message of this video was to say that most companies don't advertise correctly. They are paying maybe employees to do this, or they're paying out a lot of money, and maybe I could run a consultancy or an agency about this, because for some reason you guys just are not doing your jobs correctly. Me and my 17-year-old brother could sit down and do the job better than you for half the amount of money. And that's about it from me, guys. I've been staring at this lens in and out of takes, and I am just so ready to get a bigger space where I don't have to knock things over. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's been Ryan Thomas for Failtech. Please do like, dislike, comment, and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. Also, check out social media links will all be in the video description as well. I want to give a massive shout out to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your incredible continued support. And I also want to give a shout out to my Discord members, because it's always fun being in that chat room. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.